10 days decide almost everything. Not 10 years. 10 days. And they hide where nobody is looking. By the end, you'll know why the people who avoid the crash are the only ones guaranteed to miss the recovery. Grab your espresso. Because the market doesn't rise steadily. It sits still for years, then moves everything in a handful of afternoons. Few days are different. They move years of return in 6 hours. Commonly cited studies look at 20-year stretches and ask a simple question. What happens to your result if you miss just the 10 single best days? Roughly half. Half your outcome from 10 days out of about 5,000. 10 days. 0.2% of the entire period. Because returns aren't spread evenly. They're lumpy, and the lumps are enormous. Now, where do those days live? Inside the storm. Remember the storm. Which means the question was never, when do I buy? It's, was I there? The ride is violent. That's not the flaw in the system. That's the system. And every violent stretch produces the same instinct. Get out. Get out. Wait for calm. Come back when it's safe. Everyone has this instinct, including the professionals. It even sounds responsible. Preserve capital, avoid the wreckage, return when the picture clears. There's just one problem with waiting for the picture to clear. By the time it clears, the 10 days have already happened. Because the biggest up days don't arrive in the sunshine. They arrive mid-storm. A large share of the market's best days land within about 2 weeks of its worst ones. The same fortnight, the same headlines, the same nausea. The same nausea. Panic sells hard and then buys back hard. Violence in one direction produces violence in the other. So here's what everyone gets wrong. The crash and the recovery aren't two events. They're the same event, which means selling to escape the worst days sells you out of the best ones, automatically. Not bad luck, not bad timing, structurally the same trade. That's why avoiding the crash and missing the recovery are the same decision made once. 20, the fastest collapse on record, and then one of the fastest recoveries while the news was still terrible. 2009. Gar. The bottom arrived in March with no announcement, in the middle of the worst headlines in decades. There's never a signal. The bottom is only ever obvious afterwards. And the person who stepped out in February was still waiting for confirmation in June. They avoided the fall. They also skipped the entire repair. Now, let's be honest about the other side of this. Because the same studies find something people rarely quote, missing the worst days helps you even more than missing the best days hurts. So if you could reliably dodge the crashes, you should. Obviously. That's not the debate. The question is whether anyone can tell in advance which kind of day tomorrow is. And the evidence there is brutal. Consistently. Almost nobody can. Because both kinds of day come from the same thing. Fear at maximum volume. You're not choosing between good days and bad days. You're choosing whether to be present for both. Which is why the honest version of this isn't be brave. It's own an amount you won't flee. The skill was never prediction. It was building a position you can survive being wrong about. Because the returns aren't in the timing. They're in the duration. It's the least exciting sentence in finance. It also happens to be the load-bearing one. The storm is where the days live. You can't stand outside it and collect them. Nobody grows an oak by digging it up each winter to check the roots. So stop asking whether now is a good time. Ask whether you can stay put through a bad one. So what does the capybara take from this? 1. The best and worst days are neighbors. You take both or neither. 2. Nobody separates them in advance. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something. The market pays for presence, not for cleverness. Sit still. Stay calm. If Cap kept you in your seat, subscribe. One brutal market truth at a time. And no, not financial advice. Cap is a capybara.